if I'm just, I don't know if I'm just having trouble. Are you seeing me at least? All right. Just go ahead and talk a little bit for me so we have a good level.
Okay.
All right.
That's a really nice shirt you have on there.
Okay. All right, first part's easy. Say name and spelling, please.
Peter Shade, S-C-H-A-D-E.
Okay. Title?
Erie County Health Commissioner.
Okay. Tell me what you have here, and obviously we thought we were having a press conference, but
Right.
tell me what the
status
situation is right now and the status.
Okay, well, you know, it's 10 o'clock on Wednesday morning here, so we haven't had any new cases in the last about 36 hours. So, you know, that's a great thing. And it looks like the folks in the planning committee that were ill, along with, the rest of the delegate team that is out at the resort, has done a great job of adhering to good hygiene practices, washing their hands, and folks that do feel ill or come down with symptoms, they've done a great job of keeping themselves, kind of separate from the rest of the folks that are out there. So we applaud them for that. Excuse me. The other part of this is the fact that the resort itself, Kalahari Resorts, has done a great job and has been really trained and prepared to handle an event like this. Clearly the virus was brought in from the folks who've traveled here from California, and the resort, once again, working with the health department and the state health department, they've done a great job of limiting the spread of the norovirus. And so, I guess the victory at this point, this morning, is the fact that we don't have any new cases. So we hope that.
Total amount of cases right now?
Well, we've been saying 11, but technically there's 13. And I don't want to send crisscross message here, but the thing that's important for today is the lab results. 3 of the stool samples that were sent to Columbus have been verified to be positive for norovirus. So, I'm not glad that people have an illness, but we're glad we know what it is. And so that presents another round of how we're going to approach the outbreak investigation to determine where, potentially where it came from. Did the folks back in California eat somewhere together before they got on a plane and came to Ohio? So, the investigation process will continue, just to try to figure out where it came from and then educate people about how to prevent the spread.
Can you clarify a little bit with the GOP and who these folks are? And
Yeah.
Are they? You said they weren't delegates. Sort of explain that.
Yeah, well, this group came in, from what I understand, there's about 34 people in this group. It's a planning logistics, committee. They come in ahead of the delegates to, just get things ready for the delegates to be able to have a successful convention on their part. So this team, is busy preparing itineraries for the day, making sure that travel arrangements are made and offshoot activities are coordinated. So, they're a pretty essential part of the delegates, but the delegates themselves were not sick and haven't been reported to be sick.
Have we isolated where from California they were from?
They're from all parts of California.
So it's not one particular place where this started.
Right. Not that we know of right now, but the virus got into somebody somewhere last week. So they got here Thursday. Within an hour or so of getting here, they had symptoms of the illness. So we need to trace back, look at Wednesday and even Tuesday of last week to try to figure out where the first people who were sick, where they were, maybe what they came in contact with, and try to find something. And then work with the health departments and the community in California to say that this may have come from here. You guys, at this point, you need to take a look at what's going on and reiterate good hand washing and hygiene.
What are those symptoms?
Well, norovirus is what we call an influenza-like illness. So nausea, fever, vomiting, some vomiting, not everybody, diarrhea, headaches, typical flu feelings,
What is the threat to folks here?
Well, to be honest with you, there's always a threat, and I'm not trying to be on a public health high horse, but that's why we always say for people, you got to thoroughly wash your hands with soap and water before you eat and after they may be contaminated. There's folks walking around with norovirus in them all over the place, whether we're at a tribe game or a Mud Hens game or the state fair. So you always have to be cognizant of the fact of good hand washing, and that's how it spreads. We have to get back to the plateau where people are more cognizant about hand hygiene and good hygiene practices.
Where are we in the investigation of this? And they're seeking is anyone quarantined or anything?
No, we don't impose any kind of a quarantine. I know that's been reported here and there, but what we have done, we've talked to the folks who we know are sick about staying in the room and staying away from the crowds until they're better, not using the water park facilities, not going in the water, and for anybody who ever has diarrhea, whether it's norovirus or another cause, we don't want them in a public swimming facility for up to 2 weeks after they cease having diarrhea. So, a lot of different things can be avoided if folks are a little more vigilant. But right now, in the investigation, we continue to work with the team that's out there and the team leadership on identifying any new cases, and working with the people who are ill. We've shifted into working together as a group to make sure when people are ready to travel back to their home state of California that they're well and they're not traveling through the airline industry sick and potentially spreading it to a plane full of people, and then they go and spread it, and we want to contain that. So we're working with them to make sure logistically that they're not getting on a plane while they're ill, and if they're still ill, we'll have to make arrangements to offer to put them up for a couple more days until they're better. Okay.
Now, just to clarify, are all these cases from California? Are they California folks?
Yes.
Has anyone here contracted this?
No, not that we know of. So again, that's a pretty strong indication that they were serious in listening to what we all had to say, and they did a great job of, not running around and spreading it more. And my hat's off to them. I think it's unfortunate they're ill. They didn't come here to be ill, but hey, they didn't spread it around. That's great.
What's the incubation period for somebody like this that may, get this?
Well, it varies, but on the average, if you come down with the illness on a Monday night, you'll start feeling better on a Tuesday. You could still be contagious Wednesday and Thursday, maybe even into Friday. So we talk about 3 or 4 days of trying to be extra careful on what you do, especially moms that are taking care of families start feeling better, and then the secondary transmission of this kind of a virus is very high. People feel better and then they start doing other things for other people, and the whole time they're sloughing off the virus. The virus is very strong and very populous when it gets into the human body. It's got large numbers. It can populate very quickly and grow. So we're very concerned about the fact that it's highly contagious. But most people recover within 4 days or so.
What is the treatment?
The treatment, there's no antibiotics for it because it's a virus. So the treatment is rest, fluids, rest. And we had a couple ladies in the group, from what I understand, who did go to the ER because they were pregnant as a precaution. And that's the smartest thing to do. Anybody who might be pregnant with any kind of a worry about any kind of an infectious disease or communicable disease should go to their physician if they can. In this case, the folks couldn't go to their physician because they're not home. But
just like regular influenza, who are the high-risk folks?
That's a great question. So regular influenza is really hard on the elderly and the young, as we all kind of know. And middle-aged folks with good immune systems can battle it pretty well. But in this case, norovirus doesn't care. It's an equal opportunity disease offender. It attacks everybody in the age spectrum.
Is it exceptionally tough on the elderly and the young?
Well, yeah, because a lot of times they could have other what we call comorbidity, other factors, other issues in their life between high blood pressure or maybe diabetes or high cholesterol or something like that. And in the young, a lot of them don't have an immune system that's bolstered yet. So anytime anybody catches a virus like this, it could be a lot harder on the younger and the older folks.
Okay. All right. I think we're good.
Okay,
You
bud.
keep calling me in the middle of this, but I think we're good.
All right.
All right. Thank you much.
Okay.
I appreciate your time. I know
Sure.
you're busy.
No, I appreciate you coming out, man. I've made the drive myself many times, so.
All right. Thank you.
Okay. I'll let you get
I'll let you